Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, Saka here, and welcome back to another episode of Crusader Kings 2 for absolute beginners. And when we last left off, we conquered Desmond and integrated Earl Merodach of Desmond into our realm. So we've got 3 provinces to our name, but only directly control one of them. We have our Chancellor over here in Leinster trying to fabricate a claim over here. And if we were to look at the council, he has got a 14.99 chance of fabricating that claim. So we are essentially just waiting for that to happen. In this episode, we should be waiting on a few claims to come through. We can also press this claim on Earl Domnall of Ossory. However, his troop strength at 1,500 is pretty intimidating compared to ours. It's a little close. However, if we look at Leinster, that's only 1,100 that he can summon, which gives me a good warm and fuzzy that we can take on this army pretty solidly with just our levy. Once we raise our vassal levies to help protect our flanks, then that is almost assuredly a victory. So the safe route that we are going to take in particular is taking Leinster. But if this guy in Ossory, Earl Domnall, unfortunately, he doesn't have another claim. I would like him to be sort of claiming Kildare. That way, Kildare and Ossory can go to war with one another. That would be kind of cool. Dwindle their military strength and then strike while the iron is hot, for sure. We can also look at Connacht, but they have 1,400 troops in the bank as well. So Leinster is definitely the best military target. Let's just run through and see if we can change our laws. We cannot, not yet. We haven't reigned for 10 years. Looking at technology, we can't afford any technology. One word that I forgot to mention is count level does not get the technology bonus, but because we are a duke and we have that little blue diamond over our head, that's what is getting us our technology. Military, everyone is standing up, ready to go. Our Marshal. Can't believe I forgot that. Our Marshal is training troops and keeping that levy size at 37.5, which is awesome for us. Looking at the intrigue, there are no prisoners plots against us, which is good. We may be able to plot against, say, this guy. No, 16.5. Everybody loves that guy. So if you wanted to plot against someone and you don't choose a plot from the list, but you just find someone that you don't like and you try to kill them, and the possible plot power is low and there is no plot power increase, take a look at the court and see all of these positive numbers. No one in his court is unhappy with him, which makes him very hard to kill with subterfuge. Probably this episode will go ahead and perhaps hold a feast. Or we can't hold a summer fair, I don't believe. Yeah, we can. So we'll go through some of these character building decisions to help our base stats here and possibly gain even more traits, which will make us more appealing. The better we are, the more people will like to join us rather than them. Looking at factions, Munster is nice and settled, and our bishop is loving us absolutely over the Pope. Let's go ahead and stick to speed 3 here and see if we get a pop-up here from our Chancellor saying, hey, I've got the County of Leinster and I've got the documents to prove it. We've got 61 gold and we're making 2 gold a month, which is pretty good. Since we are just formulating on a county, the cost isn't going to be too awful much, and the prestige hit is not going to be that big of a prestige hit, I don't believe. While time is ticking away, let's take a look at our family. Does our son still like us? Well, just barely. We are stubborn. Ooh, Maria is pregnant. Good, you go, Maria of Norway. 5 free prestige. And once we start getting land for ourselves, if this is a son, it may prove difficult. But our ambition is to have a daughter, which will increase our fertility. It doesn't say that in the tooltip itself, but in the game engine, under the hood, our fertility is increased because we want to have a daughter. If we do have a daughter and fulfill that ambition, we get 10 piety. on success, and we have a sister that we can look for England or Gwynedd, or maybe even Scotland to marry off. That way we can have a strong ally in the fold for when we become King of Ireland. We can focus our goals on just one of these counties without them calling in. Let's also take a look at our neighbors. So the guy across the bay, King Derud of Deobarth, he owns these two provinces here alone, which nets him only 956 troops. This province was at war in the last episode, which makes sense why he doesn't have the troops. Is there a claimant on this province, I wonder? There are indeed. We've got a couple, and quite a few will come join us at court if we were to press the claim. One thing that I forgot to mention in the last episode as well is if we press this claim in Ossory on behalf of Gilpatrick, he would be the ruler, not us. Just because we go to war on his behalf, we are essentially just putting him right here. Oh, the Christian Defensive Pact against England. So Ossory is now in a defensive pact against England, so England will not attack Ossory, which is fine. Oh, we got another son. It looks like Flatham. Flatham is our boy. One thing that perhaps this episode we can get into as well is education. So our son right now is being slowly educated by us. These stats will increase, kind of based on our stats as well, because we are the direct teacher of our son. But once our son becomes of a learning age, of a school age, we can assign a different educator to him. And based on those educator traits, we can influence our son to become something else. The mission to Rome has so far been a success. Pope Alexander likes us by 20. So the Pope really likes us, which is very, very important as a Catholic religion, in the Catholic faith. So as long as we stay Catholic, we want this Pope to really like us. Being excommunicated by the Pope essentially makes us an enemy of Catholicism. And just take a look at the Catholic religion, how huge this is. So France could declare war on us. These guys down here in Leon, Castile, England, Scotland. Oh no. My moodiness and tendency to lash out at people is getting worse. I sleep too little and can't seem to stop worrying. That's a lot of pressure. We gain stress, and that lowers our intrigue skill by 1, our stewardship skill by 1, our fertility by -10, and we're trying to have a daughter, so maybe that ambition will offset that. And also our health -1. Health is on a plus or minus scale, and if you see health -3, you can be sure that your character is close to death. Age also factors in a little bit. So we're 43 years old, and we are going to lose health while we maintain stress, which is not good. Hopefully, we can go on some sort of a grand hunt or a summer fair. Maybe we'll lower our stress. Not sure, but we do have the 25 gold, and it is May. Let's hold our summer fair and build up our prestige. So the summer fair will be in Thoman. This will make the peasants happy, and that's what it's all about. Keeping that revolt risk down, keeping people happy. When the alderman asked for permission for a summer fair, I could have never guessed I would regret that. After a pie powder court held in front of my own bailiff, they sentenced one of my vassals to being drawn in a tumbler across the town square. So one of my vassals hangs up Mayor Runman of Limerick, or we can get a little bit of revolt risk in Thoman. So they had a kangaroo court. They got caught up in the moment, probably a tad bit too much drinking, and they put one of our vassals in a tumbler and rolled him down the street. Well, that's not good. What's our revolt risk now? So this will increase the local revolt risk, but our marshal needs to be happy with us. I don't think I want to change that -15 for 5 years. That's a pretty stout penalty. Let's increase that revolt risk just a bit. Hopefully that doesn't last too awful long. We didn't get an indication of how long there was going to be a revolt in the streets. Too many peasants are entering the city. So this guy, Mayor Runman of Limerick, does not like the fact that we're holding a fair. That's what I'm getting. So even more revolt risk, or the mayor and marshal dislikes us. Well, you know what? Revolt might be interesting. Plus, we've got a marshal to squash them if the need arises. We'll do that. So the revolt risk is at 6.5. And what does our marshal do? Suppress revolts by 15 with a plus 15 arrest chance. Even the church frowns upon the jugglers and calls them gleemen. I enjoy their humorous and bawdy acts. One of them can juggle 9 apples at the same time. We gain some prestige at the cost of piety. Minus 10 and losing prestige. He can juggle 9 apples at the same time. We'll sacrifice a little bit of piety for prestige. That's fine. I could not help but overhear the stable master and a courtier's animated discussion. Something about a horse and a payment due today, but the courtier insisted on playing the stable master. I should interfere. I settled the matter, and I tried to be as just as I could. This is our diplomacy skill. You see how this box is in blue? That is the same color as our diplomacy. So because of our diplomacy skill, we were able to settle that argument, and our courtier's opinion changes by 10 for 2 years. We also had a pop-up over here, arranging marriage from Malcolm Dunkel. Let's go ahead and address that. So, to the diligent King of Merchad, blessings upon you and your house, we propose that Prince Donald of Scotland, whose wife has just died after a period of illness, 20 years old, ouch, get married to one of our courtiers. So he's, you know, if we had a daughter, this would be absolute perfect timing to offer our daughter instead, but it's a courtier. She's not as high of skill as my other council members, so I think we can let her go. Maybe the King of Scotland will like us. That's fine. Blessings upon your house and all that good stuff. The Pellers are loading their wares. We gain 10 prestige, so not a productive summer fair. It seemed like we were upsetting more people than we were making happy. How is the revolt risk? So it's still holding there. I'm going to keep my martial training troops just in case we get that claim or someone decides to revolt or whatnot. But it looks like we will be okay, I believe. So that is the summer fair. The next event we can do. Let's see. Before November, health traits fewer than 1 is not true. The month is before August, okay? So it looks like we can hold a feast here in November, which we can do. It costs, you know, some money, but we gain some prestige, and we have a chance to make all of our vassals like us a bit more. And our vassals really love us, which is a great position to be in, that is for sure. Let's go up to speed 4 while we're here. Let time pass while our chancellor is trying to do the work. How's this guy's troops? He hasn't stood them up. He's got 1,500 troops. That's pretty upsetting for sure. Austria is going to be a tough nut to crack. Hello? One child lacks a guardian. So our first son, Donald McMalachy, needs an educator. We can see his base traits. 5 diplomacy, 1, 0, and 2. So as of now, he is not going to be a good backstabber for sure, and not really good at anything else but diplomacy. We can find him an educator to gain him diplomatic traits. Or, if we were so bold, we could try to influence his traits ourselves. Let's see if we have anyone in our court that is a good diplomat that can train him. So we'll right-click on him and educate the child. And let's sort by diplomacy skill. So the Chancellor of Munster is a charismatic negotiator. He is a scholar, but he's also cynical. He is also ambitious, which would not be good for a son, as he will probably try to overthrow us. If we take a look at the traits that our son has picked up, he has the kind trait. If we looked at this educator, and we sorted by the diplomacy, we can see that he has the envious trait, which is number 6, the exact opposite. If he were to pass that trait down to our son, it would get rid of his kind trait. How is Ida? A fortune builder. She is charitable, humble, arbitrary, which is not a good one for a leader, and also kind. We also have another charismatic negotiator who has a lisp. A scholar, slothful, brave, patient, and honest. Good, great for diplomacy. Being the fortune builder and the charismatic negotiator, +6 diplomacy, I think Conkabar, our half-brother, would be pretty good at educating our boy. So we will click him, and we will place him in his care. So right there, Kanakbar MacDonchad is going to train our boy. The Pope likes us even more, +20. That Pope is absolutely loving us. As a matter of fact, I don't think I want to mess this up. Is there anything else that our court chaplain can do? How about researching cultural tech in our capital? Because now that the Pope is really happy with us, he has the same percentage of getting improved relations as decreased relations. So that isn't what we want. So we'll do some cultural research. That's fine. Is there anyone in the plot base that we can get rid of? Do we have any courtiers that are unruly? Brian Brain. So our heir is the one that likes us the least. We have Domnall Nuel. If we were to plot to kill him, we would get 123 potential plot power. And we'll get to that in a second. We'll show you how the plot power works. We also have a technological advance. Now, we can improve in light infantry and archers, heavy infantry and pikemen, all cavalry, our siege speed and siege defense, our shipbuilding skill, or our military organization, which grants more morale and global supply. Looking at our army, let's stand them up while the game is paused and take a look at their composition. 297 and 63, 722 heavy infantry. I think the most bang for our buck is definitely researching heavy infantry and getting that heavy infantry attack up. All right, so now let's look at our court and plot to kill. This would be a good plot to do, as we ourselves get 19.1 plot power, and that is due to our intrigue skill, which isn't very good. But there are so many people in our court that does not like this guy that we can get over 100%. So let's do it and hope they don't find out. Now in the plots tab, you see our initial plot power. You want to check this button to auto-invite plotters. What that's going to do is everyone that can join the plot will automatically be invited, and when they turn green, their plot power based on the relationship to him will influence. So you see it going up there, 96. And we have a few, our mayors, 114, 124. Now the plot is ready to go. Whoops, forgot to disband our troops. So our plot is going. It's at 124.1%, which means we are going to get an attempt at some time. If it's 200 or 300%, then even more attempts are made, and that's good for us. If you're ever around 75, 80, 90%, you can click this button and see who has this sort of shaky hand, the one that says, I could join you, but right now I don't want to. All you have to do, whoops, there's a rumor about a spy sneaking around in my own castle, and was confirmed this morning when I caught him. So if I am not concerned, the church will like me as we turn the other cheek. If we behead him, we gain 2 martial skill for the next year at the cost of 10 temple vassal opinion. If we look at our vassals, we have 1 temple vassal opinion, and he's at 72. The Pope, however, is at 50, which, you know, if that drops to 62, then he won't pay us, or I will kill him with my bare hands. We gain 0.05 prestige at the cost of 0.1 piety for the next year. That sounds, and we get the strong event, not the strong trait, but the strong event. But as I was saying on this plot power, this guy will join if we sweeten the deal a bit. So you can right click on his face and send him a gift. It's just the cost of 15 gold, increasing his opinion by 26. Now when we send the gold and his opinion changes, because we're auto-inviting him, there we go, our cousin is now going to join the plot, increasing that up to 143.3%. And you can see down here, we have a lot of people that we can sweeten the deal with. You can also sort by their ranks, so the most powerful individuals, or of course, plot power. And this courtier has 17% extra plot power. We can jack this up to 160 for the measly cost of 15 gold. So let's go ahead and do that. He will be convinced, he will join the plot, and Bob's your uncle. Since I've arrived, there is no shortage of troops, so we get plus 50% reinforcement rate. Awesome. And this guy's going to join the plot. Hello? A rather nettlesome neighbor keeps sending me envoys begging for money or demanding tribute. I feel rather confused about his arbitrary ways. If we send him roses, we gain 20 piety, and if we nail the envoys' hats to their head, we gain 20 prestige. I like the prestige more than the piety. This may come back to bite us. We may, because of our kind trait, we may lose that with our decision. And these are the temporary modifiers here, because we chose to do the strong. Oh, the passion was still there, only slumbering beneath our skins, and easily reawakened by a lover's touch. So now we are lustful. We lose some piety, but we gain 1 intrigue, more fertility, and the Christians don't like the fact that we have now picked up a sin. But this is going to help us have a daughter and hopefully break our stress. We're still stressed from earlier, and I would like to get rid of that trait as soon as possible. Especially since we're starting to age. At 50 years old, we put on our old man face. We go from having this auburn brown hair to gray, and then I think our chances of death increase exponentially. All right, so we've got some news. Earl Tog has inherited the county of Desmond from our courtier, who died a natural death at 46. So yeah, this guy running Desmond died just naturally. And this is our new vassal. Now, he wants to get married. We can hook him up. Let's go ahead and fulfill that ambition, shall we? Let's arrange a marriage between himself and... Oh, we don't have a courtier. We can just marry off. Where are our courtiers? Where are our courtiers? I don't believe that for a minute. Vassal, or court. Females, unmarried females. Are you married? You're married. You're my daughter-in-law. Holy sausage fest, Batman. Well, you know what we can do? I'm feeling we can knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. If we can find claimants on these counties that happen to be an unmarried female, then we can be in like a dirty shirt. We can sort of... does no one have claims on this stuff? No, men. Come on now. Let's see, any claim... All men! How are we supposed to get anything done without any females? How about over here? Are there female claimants over here? But she would not accept an invitation to our court. Why? Let's see. Oh, Leader Nest holds a temporary title. So she's just temporary. Well, crap. So we're literally running a sausage party. How about this then? Let us go into our decisions, and we can present a debutante, which the young noble woman appears at the cost of 7 gold, a courtier named Finact. So she's a 9, 8, 11, 2, 4. She's not more powerful than anyone else, but she is unmarried. Excellent. Now let's arrange a marriage here. We will arrange a marriage with our beautiful, newly acquired Finact. And she would gain 1 prestige from marrying in, and then 200 from marrying an earl. He will accept those claims, and he may like us even more. There we go. He will get married, and see right there, we fulfilled his marriage wish. So that's plus 10 opinion for 2 more years, and he doesn't have an ambition. This is us being a good leader, looking out for our vassals and everything. Now his vassals don't like him. If his heir liked us a whole lot more, we could probably have massive plot power on this guy. Just 28%. Huh. That is odd. All right, so still no luck here with our Chancellor. Oh. Dang it. I wish we had that claim. 900 troops. And this guy hasn't gotten involved in anything. Well, crap on a cracker. Well, I tell you what, that is going to do it for this particular episode. Some house cleaning. We got a new vassal here in Desmond, and we fulfilled his wish to get married. We hooked him up with a debutante. We're still working on Leinster, and we still have that claim to Ossory. If Ossory gets in sort of a civil war and his troops are preoccupied, let's say, we will jump on that like a cat on a hot tin roof. But that's going to do it for me in this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Well, you know, these are the parts of the game that are kind of slow, and we are just sort of wanting things to happen at the mercy of time acceleration. But next episode, hopefully we get that claim and make a move. But that's going to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next Crusader Kings 2 for absolute beginners. Take care.